Hi there and welcome to today's video. It's a tutorial today for a little holly wreath. I have made a wreath on my channel before with polymer clay, but it's a slightly more involved one today with a little bit more detail, I think. So for this tutorial I've used these tools here. So I have a plastic cookie cutter tool here, and I'll be using a small ball tool and my needle tool, my acrylic roller and some teeny tiny cookie cutters here. So there's 2 circles and a tear shape. And I'm going to be using Sculpey Premo clay today. So I have a really nice red glitter here and a green glitter, an 18 karat gold, and this one is bright green gold, but you can of course use any polymer clay that you have to hand. So with the lighter green I've just rolled out a little sheet with my pasta roller, but of course you can use an acrylic roller if you haven't a pasta machine. So I'm going to use the larger cookie cutter tool here just to cut out a basic circle. And with the smaller cookie cutter tool, I'm going to cut out an inner circle like so. And I'll use a wet wipe just to go round and make sure the edges are nice and polished. And with the tiny cookie cutter tool that I have, I'm just going to create a series of little circles. So I've got a fair few here now. And with the teeny tiny tear-shaped tool that I have, all the T's, I'm going to create some little teeny holly leaves like so. You might need a few attempts at this just to kind of get in your groove really, but it's just a case of cutting out little semicircular shapes until you have a holly shape really, and you can use your fingers just to neaten off the edges. But I'll just show you again here how I made the holly. So now I'm going to do exactly the same with the darker green glitter clay. And with my needle tool I'm just going to add a tiny bit of detail really, just by adding a basic line down the centre really, just to make it look a little bit more like holly. And you can of course add as much detail in as you like really, if you wanted to add a few more veins in there. So I'll just finish those off like so with the lighter green. So I want to be able to hang this little ornaments on the tree at some point, so I'm putting through just a couple of tiny holes here with my small ball tool. And I'll go in on the reverse as well, just to ensure that the holes are nice and defined really, so that the yarn will go through easily. So now it's a case of just adding on my holly, so you can use whatever kind of formation that you fancy really here. And it might take a few attempts again just to get something that you're happy with, but I'm just going to start off at the bottom of the ornaments and just alternate between the 2 colours really, just so there's a nice contrast going on. So I'm just going to tuck them under like so as I go on. And I'll just pop one on the other side as well. And it's just a case of building as I go along really. So here I've added a few more and it's looking pretty much like a wreath already. And again I'm just tucking them under as I go along. At the top however I do need to be careful that I can still see the holes, just to ensure that the yarn will go through. And now I'm going to add some teeny tiny little berries with the red glitter clay. And you know, I'm just adding them on at random really, just wherever I fancy. And I'm going to do the same with the golds, and I just think having the gold on there as well adds a little bit more visual interest really, but it's entirely up to you. You can leave that off if you fancy. And I've decided to double up on the berries, or triple up on the berries here and there as well. So I'm pretty pleased with this, so it's ready to be baked. So at this point you'll need to refer to your own brand of Polymer clay's baking instructions. So now my little holly wreath is all baked and cooled. I'm going to add a little bit of Sculpey glaze here and there. You could put it all over your ornaments if you wanted to, but I find it more interesting just to add it to the odd leaf here and there. So now the gloss has dried, I'm just going to pop through some yarn, and it's a little more difficult than it looks actually, this, so it took a few attempts really. Let's try this one. Yep, there it goes. So I just need to tie a couple of knots really at the end, like so. And I think the red yarn really works with the ornaments, but you can use whatever yarn you have to hand. And there we go, it's all finished. I would like to show you it on the tree, but obviously I've not put it up yet. I hope you enjoy making yours. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.